Everybody knows about the power of automated email so that you can be sending out emails to your prospects while you're sipping pina coladas on the beach. But did you know that AI can now be customizing every single email that goes out so that every single one of them is tailor-made to the individual prospect's goals and motivations while you're sipping that pina colada? That's what I want to show you in this very episode. Let's dive into it. Welcome back to the AI-Driven Marketer. I'm Dan Sanchez. My friends call me Danchez. And today I want to show you that sequence. I don't want to just show you what it does, how it works, and how it's looking for me, but I even want to give it away to you. If you stick around to the end of the episode, I'll actually show you the whole high-level campaign, where you can go to get it, download it, tweak it for yourself, and keep the whole kit and caboodle. Because this episode is sponsored by High Level, and what I'm doing is trying to figure out the best and most unique ways of using this amazing tool and the AI built into it in order to actually make your marketing and your sales sequences like this one so much more effective. There's not enough people utilizing some of the tools like this out there. So I'm so excited to be partnering with High Level and developing this series so that everybody can be leveraging and up-leveling their use of AI to come up with hyper-personalized content. So let's dive into it. For starters, I'm opening up my screen, and for those audio listeners, I will be showing some visual things, but I'll be walking along in the same time verbally so that you get a sense for where we are. But if you want to watch this, join me over in the AI Driven Marketer YouTube channel, or open up this on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. A lot of these places play videos nowadays, so check to see if this video is available where you're at, and we could be walking along together. I am in an automation built in High Level, and if you saw the lead nurture sequence, it is almost the exact same sequence. In fact, I just copied and pasted the whole thing over and then used it to start building out the email sequence for this sales sequence that follows my nurture sequence of emails. This comes almost directly after the 5-day nurture sequence. If you're an AI leader, it actually discerns in the middle where you're at, because you tell me in the form. And this one comes right afterwards. The big difference in this one is that, of course, I'm prompting ChatGPT totally differently. I'm actually letting AI write almost the bulk of the email that comes from this sequence. So like the other one, it's kind of a repetitive process of prompting ChatGPT, mapping its response to a custom field, and then injecting that custom field into an email. But the big difference is, of course, I'm prompting it entirely differently. So I'm going to go and look over this prompt with you, because that's going to be a big thing. I'm actually giving away this whole prompt at the end of the video, so stay tuned for it, because I'm not just going to read it all to you. It's kind of a long prompt. I find that the term prompt engineering entirely is actually still useful, even though I don't think you really have to engineer prompts in ChatGPT. When you're automating things, you really do need to engineer it so that it has a consistency, even when you have different variables coming into the scene, like in this one. So this one, I'm actually prompting ChatGPT with, you're writing the first sales email in a 5-part sequence that follows an educational lead magnet outlined below. Every single prompt I give to ChatGPT has a different set of criteria that I'm trying to get it to follow. That kind of sets the tone for this particular email. Things like acknowledge the reader's effort and congratulate them subtly. Affirm that learning is valuable but not the end. Leverage the few things we know about them to the user to tailor the points just to them, not just to by injecting their title either, but addressing their world. That's a really important note there. Gently highlight the gap between knowledge and real-world transformation, and it goes on to kind of highlight these things. Then it actually injects in this different part of the prompt everything we know about them. That's everything they gave to us in the form when they accepted or asked for the lead magnet, because this sales sequence following after the lead magnet, but we still have that information. We're now going to use that to customize the email. And I have a few different places, because I don't want to have to, if I want to change one part of some of these, what if I'm using the same description of the lead magnet over and over again 5 times in email? Well, if you want to be a nerd, like what if I wanted to change the lead magnet? Well, then I'd have to change it in all 5 prompts, for all 5 emails. But in High Level, there's these awesome things called custom values, where you can like write something once and then just inject that like merge tag into it. So here I'm on the custom values page. You can see I created a custom value for the core offer I'm trying to sell, so I don't have to keep repeating it every time. I could just be like, hey, here's the core offer, the lead magnet that the sales sequence is following, and the sales writing style. So I have all these documented here. so that AI can actually know within one big long prompt everything it needs to know about the offer, the lead magnet that came before it, and the writing style that I want. Now, if I change just one of these, maybe make an addition to the lead magnet it's following, I want to give it some more context, then it changes it in all of those emails. So that's not AI, that's just smart automation right there. So I have a place in the prompt where all three of those get injected. Then I have an example email output of what this should look like. Because, of course, I'm kind of building this prompt and this whole sequence alongside ChatGPT as my co-pilot in building these things. And so it helped me model what the email could look like. And this is a big deal when you want it to be consistent. You really need to model what it looks like. Even the HTML of where it should be. It's rendering all of this in HTML and I'm injecting it into the email. And then I have some important output guidelines. This is kind of like where I stick the last things. I'm like, hey, stop doing this, start doing that. Every time you test it and iterate onto it, you might add another bullet point of like, do more of this, do more of that. And this is kind of like the last part of the prompt where I finish that off. So this is all good. And of course, ChatGPT gets prompted, gives me an output. I use high level to then stash what ChatGPT gives me into a custom field that then gets turned into this very simple email. In fact, let me show you the email. Let me show you how simple this is. I'm letting ChatGPT do almost all the work. It's even the first name greeting, I'm letting ChatGPT do. The only thing that's the same every time is this call to action. I could probably have AI do that part too, but just for funsies, this is the same. My signature is the same every time. So, and the form of the email, the very basic block of like the header and the unsubscribe buttons, which I have at the top and the bottom, are all part of the email. Otherwise, ChatGPT is writing the whole stinking email, pretty much all of it. So let's take a look at what this email looks like. So I went and sent a few tests to myself. We have the first opening test where it says, "Hi, Sean," which is always my test name because Sean Sanchez is always a tongue twister and a fun one. It says, "Congrats on completing the AI Fundamentals course." Remember, AI's written this whole thing from "Hi, Sean" all the way down to where the call to action is. This is all AI written. And I'm comfortable with these going out. I've engineered it. I've tested it. I know these are going to be consistent in the way they're following up, but they're hyper-personalized now, and they're always different, but different in the way that I want them to be. So you can see I did for a test here, I put myself as a content marketing director at Sweetfish Media, who sells podcasts to B2B, mid-sized B2B companies. And this is the copy that it came up with that kind of tailors it to the situation. It says, "And for someone like you at the helm of content marketing for Sweetfish, the stakes are high. You're not just creating content, you're crafting narratives that resonate with mid-sized B2B companies. You're guiding them through the noise, helping them find clarity and direction." That's copy that's customized for that particular person. Now, that's a made-up individual, but it actually customizes little bits and pieces of every part of every email. AI is highly persuasive, and if you can give it more information, it will improve how it writes the email for that particular individual. I've tested this with heads of marketing, CMOs, directors of demand gen, and they all get tailored for the particular individual. So let's take a look at another one. Imagine starting your day with podcast episodes prepped, audience insights prioritized, and a content calendar that practically runs itself. Oh, it knew to work in podcast episodes. It figured a content marketing director working at a podcast agency is probably using podcasts as part of their marketing flow. I didn't specify this. It just wrote it. Interesting. That's the Sweetfish vision when AI becomes not just a tool, but a teammate. I see you've completed the course, and now it's time to paint a picture of what's possible when AI is fully integrated into your content marketing strategy. Again, it's not Mad Libs, it's writing it just for that person. In high-performing teams, that AI takes care of the groundwork, allowing human creativity and strategy to shine. Here's a brief peek into our workflow. And then it always has a slightly different workflow depending on who's coming through the sequence. It gives a numbered list. This isn't about replacing your team. It's about amplifying what they do best, fostering dynamic conversations and building genuine connections with mid-sized companies. The future of content marketing can look exactly like this. And then the call to action. This is an awesome sales sequence because it's hyper-personalized for the individual. We don't have to just send emails that are one size fits all. We don't have to create 3 different sales sequences to fit the 3 most broad. we can create one sales sequence and know it's hyper personalized for every single person coming through. And of course, you narrow it in order to make sure it doesn't go off the rails somewhere and that you're comfortable with the output that it's giving. But this is the future that AI affords us. Now, if you want this whole sequence with everything already plugged in, if you want this sequence, all the prompts, everything as I have it, and then you just customize it for yourself, let me tell you about it, because that's why I want to tell you about High Level. I have AIAutomationVault.com, where you can get the hyper-personalized nurture sequence I talked about 2 weeks ago, but now you can get the hyper-personalized sales sequence. It says it's coming soon. Not now. By the time you watch this video, this will have been replaced and be part of the vault. So you can unlock the vault and get access to these 2 high-level sequences. You do have to have a high-level account, so start one. It's about $100 a month. Or just start a free trial. You get a 30-day trial with my affiliate link. And you can take a look at it, figure it out, and you can continue on with High Level, and that's great because it's an awesome program, or figure out how to replicate it in your own CRM if you want to access my own very prompts and how it's all linked together in order to achieve the same output. So go to AIAutomationVault.com and unlock the vault. Thank you so much for listening to the AI Driven Marketer. If you could just take a moment to give me a thumbs up on YouTube or a rating across any of the podcast apps that you're listening to it on, it would mean the world to me and it helps out the show a ton. Thank you.